This is Sway.
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 In the morning.
In the morning.
In the morning.
Shay 4-5.
Wake your fuck ass up.
Time to speak.
40 minutes past the top of the hour, citizens. Sway in the morning, Shay 4-5. Listen, all I can do is paint the picture.
Do
Right,
it.
Tracy G?
Yep.
She walked in here with the flyest little leather mini that my body ain't been able to fit in probably, some years. I ain't going to say how many because I ain't going to tell.
Mm-hmm.
Probably like 20 years. This is 20. I couldn't have fit that skirt.
Appreciate your honesty.
The boots are fly, shades are fly. She was like, y'all are so sweet. Thank you. And then we played a clip, courtesy of DJ Wonder. And instead of all Glocks down, I heard black cocks down. Ashley Tisdale is here. Ashley, what the hell are you up to in your life?
I don't know.
What's good? What is black cocks down?
Honestly, I never actually asked the director what that was. Yeah.
So that's the scene from the new movie.
That is. I play a prostitute in this movie, Amateur Night. So that's probably one of the little videos I'm in.
Wait a minute.
Wow.
And what was another one? It was another.
Oh, man, I forget.
It said black cocks down, and I think I heard something else. Another kind of.
Such and such.
Okay, wait.
Used to be he took a really nasty job, like when you did Black Cock Down.
And you did weapons of mass destruction.
That's
Yeah.
the one.
No, Bria Murphy did Weapons of Ass Destruction. Yeah.
Okay. And weapons of ass destruction. How do you prep for?
For weapons of mass destruction?
Yeah, or black cocks down? Do you only screw black men? How do you get ready for this role? Ashley, you got to talk to the girl. Talk to me.
Well, the role is actually, the whole movie is based on a true story. So it's a real story. And Fallon, the character I play, is actually a real chick. Joey and Lisa Dario, the directors, when they first came into LA, Joey couldn't get a job. So Lisa found him a job for driving on Craigslist. And he ended up driving these prostitutes for 10 months. So... yeah, so how we prepare is you just talk a lot to the director and find out the stories.
What jobs did you have before? I know you started young,
Not these jobs.
Good. Confirmed. Did you? No, because people, they ask sometimes, like, what did you do before? And I was like, a secretary at like a hospital, before, and then I worked at like Wilson's Leather in the mall. I'm
Nice.
from Jersey,
Yeah.
so worked at Wilson's Leather, and then I worked at a hot dog place. That was a bomb because my father and brothers came down and they like ate up all the hot dogs, and I gave out free pineapple crush, so I got fired on the first day. That was a wrap. So that's kind of like my history before the entertainment industry.
hilarious.
What did you do?
I did retail. I worked in, I used to grow up in Valencia, California. So I worked at the Valencia Mall, and I did, my first job was Wet Seal. My second was...
I was
Yeah,
at Wet
Wet
Seal
Seal.
too.
Hey! Michelle Branch was continually playing in the background.
True life.
Yeah. And then I did Windsor, I did Abercrombie and Fitch, and I was at Hollister up until I was on a series.
Wow, did you hate it the whole time?
Hated it, yeah. It was like, I think retail is honestly the most horrible job ever.
The customers or just like the managers?
I think it's just the managers. Like my managers didn't really, especially the one at Wet Steel, she just didn't like me. So she made me like scrape off gum off the floor that had to be like 20 years old, to be honest.
Janitor
Like,
style? Wow.
yeah, I was just like, aren't I supposed to be selling clothes?
You know what? She's right, because I forgot about my one-day stint at Kmart, too. I thought I was supposed to work from 4 to 10, and then at 10 o'clock, the manager was like, okay, clean up now. I was like, clean up? No,
Yeah.
your fold clothes. I don't even do my room at home, and I got to fold this shit. I'm out. I quit. I made $32 that day, I thought. Then the taxes and the whole thing, I was like $17.
God.
I was done. I knew retail wasn't my life either, but it was the managers.
But
Right.
retail
Yeah.
does prepare you to deal with a lot of assholes in the future. You know what I mean? Because
Yeah,
people
that's
come
for
in the
sure.
store and they want to return shit that they've been wearing. It's all musty and funky and stained, and you know what I mean. So you do kind of prepare to deal with all kinds of people, especially in the industry that you work in. There's a lot of foul
Yeah, and
people.
also I was like really shy back in the day. I mean, I'm still kind of shy sometimes, but for me, being in a room full of producers like auditioning, my mom was just like, I think this is something that's good for you because you have to sell clothes to people. So it was really for me to get out of my shell and like actually talk to people I didn't know, and so it was a lot of fun. But I mean, at the same time, I was just to be like, I've been in acting since I was 3 years old. So to have something that you know you love, but then you're doing something just to get the experience, it was just like, oh gosh, like this is like such a retail, I just think is just rough.
Did you ever get discouraged, like while you were working in retail and going on auditions and all that kind of stuff? Did you ever think like, damn, I don't know when this is gonna like
end?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think that I had told, I was constantly auditioning. I was, booking pilots, all the time. I was going to high school. And so I think it was a lot of multitasking that was, really hard because I wanted to focus just on acting. But my mom and dad were like, you need to learn how hard it is to make $1. And until you're on a series, you are going to work in retail. So I worked, at Hollister up until I was on a series.
Did that type of mindset then you think help you with your business affairs with being in Hollywood and like saving and investing? Because a lot of people, they're receiving a big check, but they still don't know what to do with it afterwards.
I think so. I like to shop a lot.
Yeah, because I was gonna say retail job is only good for like a discount.
Yeah.
I
worked
made
at
no
JCPenney
money
to
at
make shit.
Wilson's Leather because every paycheck I was buying a jacket. Like I was just like styling like Kumo D or somebody back in the days. But you know what? You'll be good, I think, for advice because there may be some people out there who got a jobs, maybe stuck in retail, trying to get into the business, and listening to you talk right now. Maybe you could kind of push them through a little bit and then give them some advice because they may be ready to quit. Like, I don't know, Kmart, JCPenney's one of them out there. 888-742-3345. Citizens, Ashley Tisdale is here. She worked in retail. She know your pain. Call us up if you can share one of your stories. It's Sway in the Morning. Sway in the Morning, Shade 45. 10 minutes into the top of the hour. Citizens, The Sweet Life of Zach and Cody, High School Musical, Sharpay's Fabulous Adventure. Ashley Tisdale was doing all of that. Now she's a prostitute. Not in real life, but she's playing one on the movie screen, playing one on TV. Amateur Night comes out August 5th. And we were talking while the music was playing, and I was saying to her, and some of you guys can relate out there, citizens, you're from a small town and you just have these big dreams, like you kind of feel like, well, I want to make it, but how do I get to this place from the next? And then you sit down and you talk with folks and you realize you have a lot in common. Like you may have never met before, but you sit down and you had the mall job, or you sit in your classroom and you just kind of scribble and doodle and practice your signature because somebody's going to ask you for your autograph one day and all that cool stuff. And then you make it and you just realize, wow, it's been such a long journey, and so many people, you hear their stories now and they're trying to make it and do it, and you just want to tell them, slow down, take your time. It's a long road. It's a marathon, and it's not this race. And I think social media maybe, can kind of make people feel like, well, I want it now. Look what so-and-so is doing. Because everybody's documenting their life for the world to see, but they don't never tell about the hard parts.
Right. The middle.
When you come home, I always share with everybody here, Ashley, when I bombed on auditions or like a casting director was so damn mean, I just went back to my room and just cried. Or, in acting, the right job could change your life, basically.
Yeah.
You're not just going for one thing that you could make maybe $500 to pay your rent. In some cases, it could be $500,000 or $5 million. It can change the course of your life, and you come this close after your fourth callback. It's like, you wasn't right for the part. It's like, that's it. I stayed up all night and I lost sleep, and you got one sentence for me? You just want to go back and fight. What were some of the difficulties, maybe, I guess, and how did you fight through them?
I've, my path in this business has never been easy. I mean, I've never been offered roles. I've always had to fight for every single one. Even the stuff that you would think I would be offered, when I was on Disney Channel, before I was on Disney Channel, I auditioned for Disney. I'm not kidding you, for like years, and never got the role for the movies. Like I would be up against like the last girl, and they would always give it to the girl who's on Disney Channel. And I was just like, it got so frustrating that I ended up telling my agents, I was like, I'm not going out for anything Disney Channel anymore. Like
Really?
I just like got so mad because it just was like not working. And so I walked away for about 2 years. I was doing a lot of network pilots. They weren't getting picked up, but I was working in other areas.
Mm-hmm.
And finally, Sweet Life of Zack and Cody came in.
Yeah.
And I was just like, oh, I know, Disney, they don't like to hire me. So let's not do it. And my manager's like, no, but I think you really should go out for this. Just, try it. And I was actually like pretty much at that point, like almost quitting the business. Like I was just like, I'm 18. I just graduated high school. It's not working. I keep doing pilots. They're not getting picked up. And so this was like, I auditioned, I ended up getting that part. And so then when High School Musical came around, I was like, oh, I'm like a shoo-in. I'm on Disney Channel now, So I'm like, I'm going to get this role.
Tables turn.
I was like, yes. And they're like, no, she's not right for the part. And I was like, are you kidding me? And they had already auditioned people. They were already testing people. And they hadn't even let me go in for the role. And I was just like, no, you have to see me just like out of me being on one of your shows. And so I went in there, and I remember telling my mom, because everybody had gotten music. It was like kind of like a Broadway audition. You had to dance, you had to sing, and then you had to do the scenes. And I remember telling my mom, like, I might not be the best singer in the world, and I might not be the best dancer in the world, but I know I can act. So I'm going to act like I'm the best singer and dancer. Yeah. And it was like, I just had this confidence. And I went in there and screen tested for it. And of course, Disney was just like, yeah, she's on one of our shows. You probably shouldn't go with her. And the director, Kenny Ortega, said, I'm not shooting this movie without her. So, so that, and then, looking back, I look back at all those times I struggled and like really wanted those parts. Like I auditioned for like 20 Disney Channel movies, seriously, like it was that many. And it's just so crazy that I ended up with the one that was like the biggest phenomenon. Like and in those moments, you don't think, like I would never have thought that High School Musical was going to take on the life that it took on, nor that I'd be casted in something like that. So it's just like, you kind of just can't give up. You have to keep going, and the only way to not get there is to give up, and to give up on yourself. But if you're really set and you are motivated and you're willing to work hard for it, like you just have to keep going.
Come on. That's what's up. No, I love to hear that, and I love for people to share that part, because we don't always get to hear that side of it, and thank you so much for sharing that. DB now, that's our movie junkie, TV expert, and just all around, he knows a lot of stuff. Sway's not here, but DB said, I know that if Sway was here, he'd have Ashley stick her hand in Sway's sack.
Go ahead and reach in.
Dig deep, dig deep.
Put your hands into Sway's sack.
That sounds gross.
It's Sway's mystery sack on Shade 45.
Break it down for her, Tracy G.
All right, Ashley, is your first time doing this?
I think so.
Okay. So you got to do one at a time, a total of 3. Read the question out loud and answer super honestly.
Oh, geez.
Yeah, yo.
Is this one right here?
I believe so. Yep.
Oh, if you had to call a celebrity in an emergency, who would you dial? None.
None.
Kidding.
Damn. I like that. That's good.
Yeah, moving on.
Good one. Question number 2.
Let's see. Which one of your favorite movies do you not want to be remade? Ooh. Oh man. I don't know. Ooh. I mean, I have like some, like, but they're the classics. I guess Titanic is one of my favorites. Don't want that to be remade.
Yeah, plus ain't nobody sitting there that long no more either.
It's a wrap.
3 hours? Hell no.
The boat can only go down but so many damn ways.
Make
That's
it a Netflix series.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. Last one.
Last one. Worst date you've ever been on? Ooh, that's a good one. I have had multiple worst dates.
Really?
For sure. Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah. I've had some really bad ones. And I ended up getting into relationships with these people, and they were never good. I should have thought about the first date. So I actually, true story, I have it's the funniest. I've told my husband this because it's just one of the best breakups ever.
Mm-hmm.
I dated a guy who was a musician a while ago, and he, I really, the music is making me distracted. So I actually, things were we were just hanging out, but we became exclusive for some weird reason.
Mm-hmm.
And I was just this never should have gone to this point, because it was just we should have just been chilling. And so I finally was just like, I just need to get, we need to break up. This guy's just like not working for me, and it's just like not a great relationship. And so he knew, he had the feeling that I was going to do that. And so he came to my house, no joke, went into the bathroom for 5 minutes, must have been hyping himself up, because I don't know what you do in the bathroom for 5 minutes, came out, threw me on the couch, like jumped like right on top of me, like was this close. And he like face to face was like, I think we should break up. Like he had to beat me to the breaking up point. And I'm like, oh, okay. Like, that's fine. And he was like, I was like, okay, cool. And he's like, it's just like, I just don't think things are working out and like all this stuff. And he's like, but like, can't we like go back to what we used to do? And I'm like, no. I was like, no, not happening. But my favorite thing is he kept on saying how cute I looked in my outfit, which was weird. That's a red flag.
Oh, he was crazy as hell.
Yes. And then my favorite part is that the XM radio was playing in the house. And as he was leaving, his exit line, he sat there and he went, oh. I mean, this is after like 30 minutes of him just trying to like still just chill and be like, go back to like just not being in a relationship, but still hanging out. And I'm like, no, thank you. And so as he leaves, he just goes, oh. And I'm like, oh, what's going on? What's going on? And he goes, Taylor Swift wrote this song about me. And he leaves. What? Dying. I literally was just like, this is out of a movie, like, or a TV show. Like, this is not real life. And that was his exit line.
Was he gay?
I don't know.
Yeah. He sounds like a flamingo. I don't know. This dude sounds crazy as hell. Ashley, I love you. Like, you are the shit. Like, for real. Like, y'all go see this movie, Amateur Night. It comes out on August 5th. And not if anything else, citizens, we keep it 100 here. She's just down to earth and cool as hell, and people like that we need to support more. Go rock with this movie, Amateur Night, on August 5th. Ashley Tisdale, please come back. Oh, your social media. Tell people how to.
Oh yeah, Ashley. Well, it's at Ashley Tisdale on Twitter, at Ashley Tisdale on Instagram, and Ashley M Tisdale on Snapchat.
All right. Do you remember the song this dude? Do you remember what song was playing? The Taylor Swift song that was playing when he had his moment when he vogued on you?
I can't remember, but I do know Taylor, and I asked her because they had dated. I knew that, but I said, did you write this song? And she goes, no, I've never wrote a song about him.
Oh my gosh. All right. More Sway in the Morning up next, y'all.
Sway in the Morning, only
on Shade 45.
Kilo.